Hello everyone, welcome to Genius Tech. My name is Steven. I want to use this medium to appreciate those that already subscribed to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for taking your time to share my videos to your loved ones. Okay, some days ago I started a tutorial on this channel. Started a tutorial series. I started how to build blog websites with Golang, React, and TAILWInd. So in my last video, what we did was that we created an API that is going to help our user to register on our blog website. So that's what we created last week. Maybe last week or in my last video. So that's what we did. So today, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be creating API that is going to help our user to log in. So we want our user to be able to log in once they are registered. We want them to be able to log in anytime they come back on our blog website. So I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make use of JWT as well in any of your Go project that you might want to use JWT. So I'm going to be walking us through on how we can do that as well. All right. So without any further ado, so the first thing we have to do is that we need to get install JWT in our application. So and to do that, so this is a package we are going to be using to we need to get this guy inside our project. So just come here and copy it. So once you are done copy it, you just have to run get, then you have this and you paste what you copied here and enter. I've already installed this guy it's already inside my application. So this is all what you need to do. Just go get that sheet and paste this package and paste it there and click on enter and install it in your application. So that's all you need to do. Okay, now so the next thing we have to do is that let's go inside our text editor, and the next thing we have to do is we need to create a util folder. So where this util folder is going to be the one to handle JWT tokens, when it's going to expire and the like. So it's inside this util file that we are going to handle that. So now before we create our login API, we need to set up our JWT. We need to create the function to handle that for us. So let's come here and create a folder. Let's call this folder util. Okay, let's call it util. So inside our util, let's have a new file. Let's call it helper.go. Okay, helper.go. So then we have to have a package here called util. So then the next thing we have to do is that we're going to say constant. We need to have a secret key here. So constant secret key. All right, it's equals to let's call these secrets. Okay, so then let's come down here. Then we're going to have our function here. So this function is going to help us to generate our token. So generate JWT. So and here is going to accept a params. Let's call this guy issuer here, which is going to be a string. So string. Come on. Okay. So here we are going to return a string. We are going to return a string. Okay. Let's call this guy error here. So then the next thing we have to do is that okay, let's come down here. Let me close this guy. Okay, so let's come down here. So the next thing we have to do is that so we need to generate our JWT token here. So we need to say claims now, which is going to be equals to JWT. Okay, the JWT dot new claims. All right, going to say new with claims. Okay, so then we are going to have JWT dot signing me method ES256. Okay, is it? Let's use H. Okay, H256. Yeah. Okay, this is the method we want to use. All right, so we're going to have JWT here as well. And then dot standard. Okay, standard with claims. So here we have to say that issuer now we need to have this guy here, and we are setting it to the params we declare here, the params we declare here. So we need to, when is this JWT is going to be expired? So that is, when do we want to log out our user? So when do we want to, maybe after 24 hours they might log in, we want to log them out so that they can authenticate themselves again. So we're going to say time, okay, dot now okay, time.now, okay, so time.now, so .add, okay, so .add, then here we're going to say time.hour here now, so times 24 hours, that is after 24 hours. You can increase the time depending on how you want to use it. Okay, so then we have this here. So the next thing we have to do is that we need to return something. All right, so what do we want to return? So we want to say return, okay, claims, okay, we want to return claims dot signed in string. All right, then we have our byte here. Okay, so then we have to pass the secret key that will declare at the top here. So this is all we need to do to generate our JWT token. So the next function is that we need to create we need to pass this JWT token. So that's the next function we need to create now. So let's come down here and let's say function now. So let's call this pass JWT. All right. So then it's going to take let's have a cookie here. Okay, cookie, and which is going to be a string. So we need to return something here as well. So we need to return a string. Okay, and let's call it which is going to be an error here. So the next thing we are going to do is that we need to say token now. Okay, because we need to pass our token. So token, then we have it's going to take two variable. So which is equals to JWT dot pass pass with claims. Okay. Pass with claims. All right, we have it here. So pass with claims, then we have to say cookie now. So and then we have to copy our JWT. Let's say JWT dot standard with claims. Okay, standard with claims. Then we're going to have a function here. So which is going to be let's say T now. It's going to be pointed to the JWT token. So let's have our pointer here. So it's going to be JWT dot token. Okay, all right, the token. Then we have to come here and put again to say interface now. Okay, so and then we have to put this here and pass is an error here as well. So then the next thing we have to do is that, okay, inside this function we need to return. Okay, we need to return we have our bytes here. Okay, we need to return the bytes. Then we have to still pass our secret key here. So the next thing we have to do now is that, oh, why is it wrong number of return value to get? Okay, I hope we've not made a mistake somewhere here. So we have a function, it's a T, okay, JWT token. Then we have the interface here, and we have error here. Okay, let's say JWT pass with claims. We have cookie, then JWT standard claims here. So we have T, which is pointing to JWT token. So then we have our interface here as well. So everything seems right. Okay, yeah. So we have to pass this guy here, new. Okay. So then the next thing we have to do now is that okay, we need to say if there is an error now, for example. So we need to check if there is an error in passing our JWT token. So if there is an error, so if there is an error now, okay, if error is not equals to nil, okay, and if we have if it's not a valid token, so let's say and we come here if it's an invalid token, so token dot invalid, okay, token dot valid if it's not a valid token, so we need to throw an error. So which error do we need to return? Okay, so let's just come here and put an empty string here and return the error. So what we're trying to do is that if the error is not equals to none and if it is not a valid token, so we need to return an error, we need to throw an error. All right, so we have to come down here and say claims now. okay, claims, then it's equals to claim is equals to token, okay, dot claims. All right, then we have to say dot we have our, we need to point to JWT token again, JWT dot standard with claim, okay, standard claims rather. So then we need to return the claims and the issuer as well. So let's say return, okay, return claims, okay, dot issuer now, okay. So and then we need to return if there is no error. All right, so this all we need to take us to create, you know, to create a JWT token, and we need to pass that JWT token as well along with you know, our API that we are going to create. So that's all we need to do. So let's say this guy, then this is the next thing we have to do now is that we have to create our login API. So that's the next thing we have to do inside our auth controller here. Okay, so okay, let's come down here, then let's start creating the function that is going to handle our user logins. So we have to have a function here, and let's call this guy login. All right, so don't forget we need to pass some things there. So we need to say fiber, okay, then dot context here. All right, so then we have to return something here, error, okay. So then let's come down here, then the next thing we have to do is I'm going to say variable data map, okay. Okay, all right, so we have to the kind of data we want to map to is string, okay. So the next thing we have to do is this. So we have to come down here, okay, variable, sorry, it's not vat, it's variable data. Then we have our string here, okay. So then we're going to say if we need to pass the body, okay, we need a body passer here. It's just similar to what we've done here. It's just similar to what we can even copy this guy from here, okay, to save time. So we can copy it from here and paste this here, but this time around it's not going to be an interface, it's going to be a string. All right, so here we can change, we don't need this guy here since we've already declared the data at the top here. So the next thing we have to do is we're going to say variable user, okay, variable user. So we're going to say models, okay, dot user. All right, so we have to come down here, and then we're going to say that database. So that is anywhere, you know, what we want to do now is that we need to first check if that email, you know, exists in our database. So we need to check that. So that's what I'm trying to do here now. So we need to check if the email exists in our database. So if it exists in our database, then we need to log in the user. So but if it doesn't exist, so we need to return an error and tell them, okay, this email doesn't exist, you have to create an account. So that's what we want to do here now. So we're going to say database now. So we need to check inside our database if the email exists. Okay, db dots, okay, where, okay, so where, okay, we are going to say where email, okay, it's equals to this guy here. So we have to say data now, okay. So which is going to be email. So then we are going to come here and say dot first, okay. So then we have to pass our user here. So what I'm trying to do is that we're trying to check, as I've said, if the email already exists in our database. Okay, that's what we are trying to do here now. So let's now come here. If we cannot find the mail, what are we going to do? So let's say if user, okay, because it's going to return the ID as 0 if it doesn't meet, if that email the user is trying to log in with, if it doesn't exist in our database, it's going to return the ID as 0. So it's just very easy to do. So we're going to say if the user.id now is 0, which means that that email doesn't exist, it's equals to 0. Okay, so we are going to come down here and say that we need to return something back to the user. Okay, so let's say the status code we want to return is 404 because it's not found. All right. Okay, then we are going to say that return, we need to return a message, return c.json now, So we're going to say fiber now dot map. Okay, so what's the error message you want to return? Let's come here and say message. Okay, message. Then what is the message you want to return? Email address does not exist. Okay, all you need to create depending on the error message you wish to return anyway. So we're going to say email address does not exist. Okay, does not exist. Okay, kindly create an account. Kindly create an account. All right, so this is the error message we need to return if the email address does not exist in our database. All right, so the next thing we have to do now is that yes, we need to the last time in that I created this video, I was explaining to us how you can create a registered API, how you can register your user. Don't forget that we saved the password. We encrypted the password with Bycrpt. So now we need to compare the password with the help of Bycrpt. That's what we're going to use now. We need to compare that password with the one in our database. So we need to create a function that is going to handle that for us, that is going to help us to compare the password the user is trying to log in with, if it's the same thing with the one in our database. Okay, so that is the next thing we have to do now. All right, so the next thing we have to do is that, so we need to compare it together. So before what I'm going to do is that let's go inside our user model here. So inside our user model, we need to create a function that is going to handle that for us, that is going to compare the password the user is trying to log in with, to see if it matches the one we encrypted in our database. All right, so let's just quickly create a function here. So that function, we are going to have this here. We're going to say user now, so which is going to be pointing to the user model. Okay, then we have to say compare. Okay, let's call the function compare password. Compare password. That's the name of the function. So which is going to accept the parameter here, password, which that password is a string. All right. So then we need to return something there, error here. Okay, we are going to say return. It's just very easy to do. It's just a line of code here. So I'm going to say return Bycrpt compare hash and password. So then we are going to say user, okay, dot password. Okay, then we are going to outcome here is going to be a byte here. So we are trying to compare it with the one inside our database if it's the same thing. So we're going to say password. Okay, this is all what we need to do, guys. So this is all what we need to do to check if this password here matches the one we have in our database. So we've already created the function. So this is a function that is going to help us to handle that. So the next thing we have to do, let's quickly go back to our alt controller here. So down here we need to now the function we create, that compare password, we are going to need it here. So let's first say if there is an error now. Okay, so we need to check if there is an error. It's equals to user. All right, it's equals to user dot compare password. So we need to compare the password. So which password wants to compare now? We're going to say data now. So we are sending this password here. Don't forget that this function is already accepting. Let's go back there. So don't forget this function is accepting something here, which is the password. All right. Okay. So then we are now sending that password here. We're going to say password. All right. Here we're going to come here, and if error is not equals to null. All right. Error is not equals to null. We need to return an error. So let's come down here and say c.status. Okay, dot status in case if the password doesn't match it. That's what we want to do now. So in case if the user inputs an incorrect password, let's put status code 400, which means bad request. So let's say return now. Okay, c.json, we need to return the response. Okay, to our user that is an incorrect password. Dot map. Okay, so then we have to come down here. So what is the message we need to return to the user? We say message down here. So we're going to say incorrect password. That is the message we need to return to the user. let's say incorrect password. Okay, so that's the response we need to return if in case the password the user is trying to input doesn't matches what we have in our database. All right, the next thing we have to do is that if all these conditions, if the email is correct, if the password is correct, so what is the next thing we have to do? So the next thing we have to do is that we have to authenticate our user, right? So let's come down here. We're going to say that's token now. Don't forget our JWT token. So token there, we're going to say error now. Setting it equals to util. So this is where we are going to need that. This is where we are going to need the function we created in our utils, the helper function now. So we're going to say util.generate. Okay, why is that not coming? What do we import? Oh, okay, this is not what we need here. This is not what we need. We need that util that we created. Let's say util. Okay, yeah, this is what we need here. So util.generate. I'm wondering why is it not importing? No, this is not the utils we need as well. Okay, let's clear these. Sorry for that. Okay, we need to. I want it to automatically import the util we created the other time, but I don't know why it's not bringing it up. Generate JWT. All right, does it import it for us automatically? No. Okay, so if it's not doing that for us, we can just come here. Let's grab this guy and let's paste this. So we need to change this to utils. Okay, to util. Is it utils? Okay, it's util. Okay, so I think that's why it's suggesting that for all util. Okay, dots generate. Yeah. Okay, that's what we need. So here we are going to convert the. We need the user ID. So we need to convert that user ID to an integer. Now we need to convert it to we need to convert it to a string rather. It's an integer, so we need to convert it to a string. So I'm going to say string. We need this function here. So then we're going to say dots. This guy here. I'm going to say, and what do we want to cover? Which is an integer, the user ID. Now I'm going to say user dot ID. All right, so we have to come here and say in case if there is an error now. For example, in case if there is an error, so let's come here and say if there is an error, what do we want to return? We need to return something that is internal server error. We need to return I say C the status. Okay, then we're going to say fiber dot status. Okay, status internal server error status. Okay, dot internal server error. So alright, that is if something is wrong, maybe the JWT token is not correct, or there is an error. So which we are going to come down here, we're going to say return. Okay, we're going to say return nil here as well. Alright, so then we need to set the properties for our cookies now. So we're going to come here and say cookie. Okay, cookies here. So we're going to set it equals to the end. We have our fiber. Okay, dots. We are going to make use of the fiber cookie. Okay, cookie here. So we need to set the property. So the first thing we are going to say is that what's the name? So the name is JWT. All right. So this is the property. That is anytime we use the login API. So this property is going to go along. It's going to go along with our cookie that we are sending to the to the front end. So this login, once the user login, so we want to save the cookie as well, so that that can help the user to be authenticated. All right. So then what is the value? Okay. So the value is token. All right. The value is token. Then the next thing we have to do is this. Then the expire, when it's going to expire now. Sorry, we have expire here. Okay, expires. Then we still have our time. Okay, dots now, okay, time.now. Then we have to say .add, just the same thing we did the other time. That is, we want to expire after 24 hours. Time dot hour, then we have times 24 hours. Okay, so then the next thing we have to do again is that we have to say, come here, let's say HTTP, okay, only. So like, let's set it to true. All right, so this is all we need to do. These are some of the properties that we need to set. Okay, so right, so the next thing we have to do now is that, okay, we need to come down here and say that c.cookie now, c.cookie here. So we need to copy this guy here, say cookie now. Yeah, so then we need to return a message if everything went successfully. So we're going to say that return now. Okay, so we're going to say return c.json. all right, c.json here. Then we're going to have our fiber map here. So what is the response? We want to return the response that you successfully log in. So that's the message we want to return. Message. Then we'll come down here. We're going to say you have successfully logged in. You have successfully, okay, you have successfully logged in. All right, so then we need to return the user's details as well. Okay, so we need to return the user's details. So let's come down here and say user. So we want to know that particular user that logged in. Okay, so we are going to have user here. So guys, this is all what we need to do here to be able to, where's this showing error? Where are we getting any error here? Okay, so we need to put a comma here. Same thing to this guy, you need to put a comma here. All right, I think we are good. So the next thing we have, okay, still showing error somewhere. Where is that? Okay, we need a comma here as well. So it's saying value or null feed. Okay, why is it bringing value? Okay, it should be capital V, sorry. Okay, value token. So I think there is no longer any error here. So let's save. So the next thing we have to do is that, which we need to quickly do, is that we need to create a middleware. So this middleware just simply means that what if if the user did not log in, they will not be able to access some of our routes. Are you getting it now? They will not be able to access some of the API. So let's quickly create the middleware. We are going to make use of the middleware. So let's come down here and let's create a folder. Let's quickly call it middleware. All right. So let's come there. Let's call it middleware as well. Middleware.go. All right. So let's come down here. The package is going to be middleware. All right. So the next thing we have to do is that let's quickly create a function there. So let's say function here, if, let's call it is authenticated, that is if the user is authenticated, then we should give them, where they can be able to access on our application. So let's come down here and let's say fiber, okay, then we have fiber dots, okay, fiber.context. Okay, then we have to return an error here. So why is it not importing that for us? Let's fix that. Import fiber for us. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is that we're going to say cookie now. Okay, cookie, we set this equals to c.cookies. all right, c.cookies. I wonder why it's not suggesting it for us. Fiber.context. Then we have error here. Okay. Anyway, so we have our JWT token here, JWT. Then we come down here. So the next thing we want to do again, we're going to say if. Okay, but we are not returning any error this time. So we are going to say if error here. So we are setting it equals to okay, so this guy is expected to accept two variables. Okay, so but we are not going to use the other one, and that's why we put this underscore here. So we're going to say util now. Okay, util dot pass JWT token here. So we're going to have cookie now. All right, then we're going to come down here, and if there is an error, if error is not equals to null, okay, if there is an error now, we need to return something status unauthorized. That is, user, you are not authorized to access this particular route. Dot status, okay, dot status. Then we're going to come down here. We're going to say fiber, okay, dot status, okay, dot status unauthorized. All right, so we have to come down here and return an error message. Okay, return c.json now. Okay, .json. Then we have our fiber. Okay, .map. Okay, so what's the message we want to return? Unauthenticated. Let's say message here. So we say unauthenticated. Okay, unauthenticated. Okay, unauthenticated. So that was the message we want to return. Then we're going to say return. Then the next, I'm going to say return c.next. That is the next function, the next route to run. So that's all we need to do. I'm wondering why it's complaining. Fiber declare in this block. Other declaration could not import fiber. Why are we getting this error? Okay, our middleware is there. Then we have package middleware, we have fiber. Okay, I think we have imported 2 fibers there. That's why we are getting that error. Okay, so the error is gone. So the next thing we have to do now is that how are we going to make use of this? How are we going to make use of this middleware we just created? So okay, for now maybe we are not going to make use of it anyway, but if we want to make use of, because every of our API that we are going to create, we don't need to still user don't need to be authenticated. For example, a registered user that doesn't have any details with us, so they have to register. So we don't need to still protect this our route here. So then let's come down here, app.use. If you want to make use of it, we're going to say app.use. Okay, then what do we want to use here? We're going to say middleware. Okay, app.use middleware. So dot is authenticated. All right, so let's remove this guy here. So anywhere we anytime we use this guy, let's say for example now this app.use middleware.authenticated, if it's above any route here, let's say for example we put it here, so our user will not be able to access any routes below this middleware.authenticated. So take note of that. So anytime is below, it will not be any routes or any API that we created that is below this guy here. User will not be able to access them until they are authenticated. So all right, so that's why I'm saying we don't still need it here, because our login details, our login routes, user don't still need to be authenticated. Are you getting it now? So we can make use of it, or better say comment it out here for now, since we are not going to make use of it. Okay, so the next we have to do is that we have to create the route for our login, which is going to be a post request. So we're going to come down here and say API, okay, slash let's have login. So what is the function there? We're going to say controller.login. Good. So this is what we need to do here now. So we have to check if everything is fine, or what we've been doing since, if there is no error, if everything is going on fine. So let's save this guy. All right. So for us to check, we need to start our server, and we need to start our SAMP as well. So okay, let's come here. We need to say sudo SAMP. Okay, starts. All right. Okay, I need to put in my password. Okay. So okay, let's check now. It said everything is fine. The server is running fine. Okay, let's see if we are going to be able to access that here. Let's say local host php by admin. Okay, here comes another error. That same error. I think I still have to find a permanent solutions to this. So definitely there is another MySQL service that is running that is preventing this to to start. So we need to kill that. For us to kill that, I need to check for the code I always use. I've forgotten now to kill that MySQL. I think it should still be one of the. It should still be inside. What's it called? It should still be inside that particular code there. That's what I'm trying to search here. I should still be able to find it. I think sudo stop MySQL or something. I don't really remember. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Sudo service MySQL stop. So this is what I need to run to stop that one that is running, so that the new one is going to start. So yeah, that's all I need to do. So let's say sudo sam start again. I think everything should work fine now. Yeah, good. So everything is working fine. So this is our table that we created. So here is our user here. The user we created was John Doe, and this is the email address we use. So okay, so now let's go back and check if we can log in with these routes now. So I'm using Todaclate. If you are using Postman, you can make use of your Postman, but I like this Todaclate a lot because I don't need to move out of my VS Code. So then let's come down here. We need to make a new request, right? Okay, or we can use this here. Let's see if the body is the same. Okay, yeah, we can make use of this because all we need is the email and password. So let's register a new user. For example, let's register a new user and see if that is still working. So we have John Doe. Let's change this to Smith. Let's say Smith Steven. All right, Smith Steven. That's the name. And let's use a password that is just 1 2 3 4, for example. And the email here. Let's say Smith. Okay, at gmail.com, and this guy here. So let's try to send it here. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, we've not started our server. Sorry about that. We need to open a terminal here, new terminal. Okay, so we're going to say go run main.go. All right, we are getting an error, user.compare undefined. Where is that happening? Inside our I think alt controller. Okay, let's check that out. Let's see. Okay, we don't save our user.go file. That's why we're getting that error. Let's save this guy. So let's start our server again. So it should be able to run properly now without any error. So go run main.go. Yeah, connect successfully. It's connected with our database successfully. So we can now go back to to register now. Let's send this request. Password must be greater than 6 characters. Good, because our password here is lesser than 6 characters. I just want to show you guys that it's working. Okay, so if for example we make use of the same what's it called, the same email address, I think we use some will. Was that the email address here we used the other time? Okay, some will at Gmail. Okay, some will at Gmail. So let's go back here and let's use that same email address. We shouldn't be able to register with that same email address. Okay, let's increase this password length to 4 5 6 7. Okay, so we shouldn't be able. Account created successfully. Some will at gmail.com. We shouldn't be able to use already registered emails. Some will. Okay, yeah, it's different. So you see, it is will. This having only one. What's it called? Only one L. But here I use double L. I think that's why. So let me try to use the same email again. So let me send. Email already exists. You see, we cannot use the same email address at the time. So now let's try to log in with this will at gmail.com. So let's change this guy to login. So we need to okay, let's create a new, because I don't want to lose this registered here. So let's just come here and create a new request. So okay, let's say get this to be post the body. So let me just come here and copy this body here. This is what we need to save time. The email and password. Let's put this guy here. Let's bring this and save this here. So okay, let's remove this comma here. Okay, email. Why are we still getting the syntax error? Email, password. Okay, I think we need to put it inside a coil brackets. Okay, all right. So let's check now if everything is fine now, for example. So let's try to log in with email that doesn't exist in our database. Some at Gmail doesn't exist. So let's send a post request. You see email address doesn't exist. Kindly create an account. That is working fine. So because the record is not found in our database, so it's going to say email address doesn't exist. Kindly create an account. Guys, our functionality is working. So if you're happy about this, kindly don't smash the like button. So if you're happy about this, yes, what we create, our function is working fine. So let's now try to log in with the correct email address. So let's say samuel@gmail.com, which is correct, and then the password. So let's try to put in a wrong password. For example, let's send incorrect password. Okay, so let's now register. Let's now log in with the correct password now. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and let's send. So we should be able to say you have successfully logged in, and this is the user that has that password. So let's check our cookie here. You see this is our cookies here, JWT. Everything is working fine. So our users, this is the response. So guys, we've been able to create our API to help our users to log into our application. So this is all what it takes to make use of your JWT, to create a middleware, to create your login API. So this is all what it takes, guys. So I have to stop the video now because it's getting too long. So in my next video, we are going to be creating the other APIs. So the other API that is left, we just have to create, like, I think 4 to 5 APIs, which is going to be we are going to be very fast about that. So we need to be able to create API that is going to create our blog. If the user wants to create a blog, if they want to delete their blog, if they want to edit, and get single blog. So we are going to be able to, get single post. If the user wants to create a post, if they want to edit a post, if they want to delete a post, that's the API we are going to be creating in my next video, guys. So if you're happy about this, if you're glad and you've been able to create a login API to help our user to successfully log in on our application. If you're happy about this, let me know what you feel in the comment section. If you're happy about this tutorial, this video, if there's anything you still want me to change, maybe in terms of my video quality, in terms of my voice, or maybe I have to change my microphone or anything, guys, just let me know how you feel. What I'm doing is I am trying as much as I can to give you guys the best on this channel. So thank you so much, guys. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, if you are watching this video, let me quickly remind you guys, just to encourage this channel and to make this channel grow as well, please, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So I'm going to stop here now because the video is getting too long. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. I'm still your friend, I'm still your brother, I'm still your friend, your brother Steven. Thank you so much. See you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye for now.